Hello, and welcome back to After the Whistle. It's Tuesday, February 6th, and I'm Joe Belansky.
And I'm Jacob Hunting. In tonight's episode, we have highlights from an exciting Super Bowl over the weekend, an interview with a pair of GVSU football players, and much more.
The big news from the weekend, of course, was Super Bowl 52. The Philadelphia Eagles and New England Patriots were at it in an offensive-packed battle. Nick Foles led the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl victory, outdueling Tom Brady and the Patriots 41-33. The Patriots looked primed to snatch another Super Bowl late, but the Eagles' defensive end Brandon Graham strip-sacked Brady to get the Eagles the ball late. New England wouldn't get the ball back, but a Brady Hail Mary attempt to Rob Gronkowski would end up falling short. Of course, after the game, the Philly fans had a little bit to celebrate. Well then, earlier we brought a pair of Grand Valley football players to discuss what they thought of the big game and to give us an update on how their offseason is going.
Hello, today we're joined by Dan Madden and Jake Howe of the GVSU football team. They're here to join us to talk about the Super Bowl and some things happening from their offseason. So guys, I'm going to start off. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So thanks for joining us. You know, Sunday, big Super Bowl. Not a lot of people picked the Eagles. Did you guys see it going that way, or were you surprised at the end?
Why not? It's the underdog.
That's right. I'm really a big man, a fan of the underdog. You know, I don't like Tom Brady.
Nobody likes
I
Tom
respect
Brady.
him. I respect him as a talent, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm all for the Eagles.
He had 5. It's not like, Nick Foles probably is never going to – he might. Actually, I'm not going to make that statement. But, he has 5. It's not like, he's losing one anyway. Anyway, so you guys are in the middle of your off season right now as the winter semester rolls on. How is that going for you guys? Like today you had lifting, am I right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Well, it depends on who's asking, The coach asks. It's going great. If you ask me, it's like, ooh, it's a long off season, I'm not going to lie. But hey, ready to go after our last season, we finished a little short and we're ready to get back after it.
Right. So how was that? You guys were 6-3, and the 3 defeats all came on the road to ranked teams. Yeah. And there was you guys had a legitimate case to get into the playoffs. It's been a while. How's that feeling like stuck around with you guys, or has it, in the past months?
It's been really tough. I think especially when we're doing all these conditionings at 6 in the morning and lifting 3 days a week as well as running. I really think that we're reminded of that each and every day as we walk in, that this process that we are now is going to equal what's going to be on the field in September, in October, November. So if we take a look back at last offseason, we're going to fix the kinks that perhaps didn't work, or some things that didn't bring our team together as well as previously. So just really we're coming together, and I really like the way that we're coming together, and we're doing great so far. We're excited. We're attacking.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that one of the first meetings we had with Coach Mitchell, he comes in and he says, hey, it's over. Let's move forward next season. So every day you get in the weight room, you don't want to look back and be regretful on what happened, but you have to at least acknowledge the fact that we got that close. We were just that, close to another playoff season, but we get after it. We figure it out. Next man up, next season.
That's right. Total of 8 points. We lost 3 games. A total of 8 points. So if you really break it down, if we score 9 points, kick 3 field goals this year, score a touchdown and a safety, we're in the playoffs.
Right. And Jake, you bring up the point, next man up. Now, one of your teammates who's graduating, Nick Kaiser, who's recently named first-team All-American, he won't be on the field next year, but how was it, playing with him this year and seeing the impact he made on the field?
He was awesome. I mean, when you see a tight end, historically Grand Valley has tight ends that block, and having Nick out there catching passes, everybody got excited for him. He had a great season. I mean, he was an offensive leader, and we're going to miss him next year, but all the best to him. Hopefully he gets a shot playing at the next level. That'd be fun.
Absolutely. I think Nick, both on and off the field as well, a lot of people don't get to see football players, from 8 to 5 every day. All they see is Saturday nights on Lover Stadium at 7 o'clock. But what a lot of people don't know is Nick really trusted a lot of the process. He, from day one till the day he left, he really put everything he could and everything he had into all the off-season workouts and the runnings. Took everything with a light of heart, and it made it better. He gained something like 50 pounds of muscle through his college career.
He did.
And if that doesn't tell you how much a man has invested into what he wants to do, then I don't know what does.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll let you guys get out of here after this, but how, if you could describe this offseason in one word, how would you go about it?
Work. That's all it is.
I would say attack mindset. We're really trying to just attack everything each and every day in front of us, every lift, every running, even every rep. Sometimes we're doing 90, 95, 100 different reps of a workout in a matter of an hour and a half. You just got to attack each one, understand it'll make you better, and at the end of the day, next man up, eyes forward, right?
All right, well, thanks, guys. Jake Howland and Dan Madden from the GVSU football team. Joe, Jacob, back to you.
Thanks for that, Arpan. In other NFL news, the Detroit Lions made the hiring of Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia official on Monday. Patricia is replacing Jim Caldwell, who spent 4 years in Detroit. Back on campus this weekend, a pair of GVSU club wrestlers claimed titles at the Laker Classic. Freshman Joe Posledny won the 157-pound title, while senior Haran Bogdanic grabbed the 235 crown. The club wrestling team will be back in action on Sunday at Davenport University.
The Super Bowl wasn't the only big event in football this weekend. The 2018 Pro Football Hall of Fame class came out, and it's a pretty stacked class. What's your opinion about it this year, Jacob?
It's kind of odd for me. I became a football fan in 2007, so these are all guys that were in their careers, in the middle of their careers, when I started watching football. So seeing them make this huge accomplishment is just insane. You got guys like Ray Lewis, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Brian Urlacher, as you yourself are a Bears fan, so you're very familiar with that. And then Brian Dawkins, safety for a long time for the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl. So I think it was a stacked class, especially I have a little more emotional pull on this one since it's guys that were playing when I first started watching. But go ahead, talk about Urlacher for a little bit, being the Bears fan you are. This is your guy.
Yeah, I mean, what could you say? He spent his whole career there. He's kind of that 2006 team. That's kind of when I start remembering Bears games or whatever. I was in 5th grade at the time, 4th, 5th grade. And no, it's good to see him with him being in the Hall. That makes it 28 for the Bears, most of any franchise. So, we got that going for us. They're not too good right now, but they got 28 Hall of Famers. So the history is proof in the pudding, and hopefully Trubisky will be next.
Running joke on After the Whistle about Trubisky. But anyways, Brian Urlacher is always a guy, you couldn't hate him as a Lions fan. I just could never hate him. He always seemed to be a really cool guy. And he just always had the Lions number, so it was real fun to watch him. Didn't know if he was actually going to make it, but it's nice to see him in there. Randy Moss is another player that huge career, and especially there in the middle, you didn't know with his Oakland years whether or not he was going to make it. But it's nice to see him make that comeback and make it good enough and to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and you can't forget T.O.'s a big part of that too.
Yes, T.O., definitely.
And college basketball is heating up, and the March Madness is already ensuing. 2 big-time Blue Bloods fell victim to upsets on Saturday. The number 4 Duke Blue Devils lost to a struggling St. John's team, 81-77. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State defeated the Kansas Jayhawks, 84-79. Trae Young and the Oklahoma Sooners also took a Big 12 loss to Mo Bamba and the Texas Longhorns, 79-74. Michigan and Michigan State came out of the weekend unscathed, though. The Wolverines got an ugly win against the Minnesota Gophers, 76-73 in overtime. The Spartans also got a win in Indiana, beating the Hoosiers 63-60. We should be in for another March chock full of madness. That'll do it for us tonight. We'll be back next week with more. Until then, I'm Joe Belansky.
And I'm Jacob Hunting. If you're looking for even more After the Whistle content, you can make sure to check out our podcast that is hosted by our own D'Angelo Starks and Noah Jensen, called the Jen and Jello Podcast, which will be up on our social media. For the rest of the crew, I'm Jacob Hunting, and all game, all season, always on After the Whistle.
Hey, we got there.
It'll
we
work.
got there.
It'll work. I'm okay. No one watches the ends of these